I would like to ask everyone where they feel like they are in their spiritual journey at the minute. Because me, I have numerous amounts of times, but now more consciously, I'm at a stage where I'm fasting because I'm independent now and I haven't got clarity yet. Do you get what I mean? And that's what fasting provides. It provides clarity and allows you to see things from the perspective of the Lord. Do you get what I mean? And I feel like in order to get my debut project and all of that, like clean cut and my ears and everything, all my senses and everything is in tune.
Right.
I need to do things with intention.
Yes.
Do you get what I mean?
It's
but
coming, it's
where's
coming.
everyone else?
It's coming. It's coming, trust me.
But where's everyone else?
I feel like a lot of things you said is super creative as well. You may not see, not like you may not see it because you're creative, but the stuff you're also doing to make sure that you're happy and your work aligns with who you are is super creative. To think, because I don't know if I could do that. If I could get in the booth and be like, oh, I'm not gonna swear because I care about how my message is being put across. It's like pushing yourself to find other ways to express yourself, and I respect that a lot. I would say for me, my opinion might be quite different from all of you on this table, and maybe a little controversial, but I grew up in a Pentecostal church. I grew up in a very Christian family. I was like born again and everything, but I don't even feel like religion or my religion standpoint combats with my persona where I'm at now, because I wouldn't say I'm actually that religious. I believe in God. I feel like I believe in the Bible. I believe in the story of Jesus. But there's a lot of things I've struggled with. Maybe it's from growing up in the church, congregation. As much as I believe like not overreacting in a bad way, there's a lot of things I don't believe in. Like I've seen bad things happen because people don't set boundaries or per se turn the other cheek. Do you get me? So I feel like there's still a certain stance and standpoint you need to have, and with imbalance. And I also believe that God, like we all have different relationships with God. We're like God's children. So I don't think it's right. And I'm not saying everyone is like this, but sometimes I used to find in church, in the congregation, people would like judge you and how you live your life and what you want to do because they feel like they know what's right and wrong. But God said, come as you are. Do you know what I mean? And you don't know the relationship with God. You don't know the things I pray to him about and the things that I say in our quiet time. You don't know the struggles I deal with. Do you get me? So it's mad. Like, I feel like in my adult years now, I've become way more spiritual. I still pray a lot, but I know I'm not perfect and I just don't try to be. Music has also been a big outlet for me where even though I feel like you do need a bit of ego, I feel like music has allowed my ego to die because I can get in the booth and pop and talk my big talk and say what I want to say and get my anger out. But on a day-to-day, like, when people meet me, they'll be surprised at how kind I am because the persona, she's not fake. The Miss Banks is real, but that's a part of me and that's an expression. And I'm allowed to be whoever I want to be in that moment. If I'm angry, if I'm on smoke, if I feel sexy, like, that's my moment to have. I feel like I'm allowed
to do that.
Exactly. I'm allowed to have that. That's what keeps me sane. So I don't care who's to judge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But just in general, I feel like I'm a spiritual person and I have a moral compass. When I first started coming out, I was quite conscious in my music. I think I got led astray trying to chase bangers and make club hits. But naturally, religion aside, I was always super conscious, and that's an element I want to bring back. I think to align me, the real inner me, Tyra, with Miss Banks. So I think that's where I'm at in my spiritual journey. For once, like it's like I know my moral compass. I know for me what's right from wrong, and I know what I can do to make me feel, you know, comfortable and aligned with who I am. But I'm not the perfect Christian. I'm not. You know what I mean? But I do my part. God knows I pray. I still believe in him. I may not go to church every Sunday, but still in my heart. And yeah, I'm just trying to do right, best from what I know. So I don't know if that gives a clear...
That's mad. That's mad what you said, because you said it was controversial, but I understood everything. Because you know what it is, for me, obviously I said what my journey is, but I don't feel like I'm in a place that's any different to where you are. I'm not perfect. Just because I'm fasting, I'm perfect.
No.
Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, it's just like, today, this is how I feel. Before I started the journey to start fasting and whatever, I was in exactly the same position that you're in now. I grew up, I've always gone to church. I stopped going to church when I was like, 14? Because I was in a Pentecostal church and my spirit was uneasy. And from that age, that my discernment was like, something isn't right. And if it does, just because it's in church doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
So I stopped going and I was called defiant and all these different things. I still went to school, still got all my grades. I was still smart, still done everything. But it was just like, yeah, what, you don't want to come to church? And then the rest of my family started to realise certain things as well after I had left. So then my nan and my mum found this new church. We go to a Methodist church. Now we've gone since like maybe sixth form. That's what, 17, 18. I just turned 18 at the time when I went. It was the weekend after my birthday. I just turned 18 and I said, yeah, do you know what? I'm gonna go church with my mum today. She's been asking me, I'm actually gonna go. On the way to church, obviously poetry is what I grew up doing. On the way to church, I was listening to Drake and Janae Aiko from Time. And a lyric came into my head, people switching up on me in seconds like the minute hand. And I wrote a freestyle, like from that middle line to the top and then down to the bottom. That's the first proper freestyle that I posted that went what was quote unquote viral at the time, like my first couple thousand views. And it went from there. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm not perfect either. I don't think that a perfect Christian doesn't exist. Do you get what I'm trying to say? A perfect believer in God doesn't exist, but as long as you know what your relationship is with God, it doesn't matter.
Do you know,
So interesting.
I feel like, just to touch on what you said, even me saying it's controversial, I think that's based on other people's opinions. Because I remember in early doors, I kind of came out and said that I wasn't religious. And I feel like, because of where we come from, especially in Black culture, religion is everything, like across the board. So I remember getting a lot of backlash, but people don't even know. I kind of even said I wasn't just because I always felt like I was being judged. I felt like as soon as I said that this is my faith, it was always something. So I just would rather say, bro, this isn't, because I don't even want the headache from it.
You know when people say that your body is your temple, that could be viewed in many different capacities. It's not just got to do with what you put into your body, like through food and stuff like that.
The things you listen to.
Your church is within you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So even you saying you're not religious just based off of what other people's perspective is and what you've heard people say to you, what people deem you as, your church is within you. Your body is your temple. So when you're saying you're gonna go into the closet or you're gonna go and do whatever and you're gonna pray in private, God still sees you and He hears you.
And that's actually even a biblical perspective. And that's the thing. Do you know what? Like, there's so much. Like, you said something, Cristale, about you were in the car and you wrote that poem, And what inspired the poem was actually a Drake Shanaiko song, right? This is so interesting because when you said that, I was thinking that even sounds like a God thing. Like you getting that inspiration, then writing that, right?
On the way to church.
On the way to church.
My first church visit.
But it's like, because sometimes, like, because I'm a Christian, right? To answer like the question, but it's like, I feel like I relate with Miss Banks a lot in terms of some of the restrictions. Like, arguably the reason why I've made a type of music I make and I go to the sort of shows, like the sort of artists, like I'm really in that sort of like alternative rap space or MC space, and I include my faith in that. The reason why I didn't, even though I'm super passionate about my faith, I made a conscious decision to say, nah, I don't want to be a gospel rapper. And the reason why wasn't because I had a lack of confidence in my faith or a lack of passion. It was actually because I wanted to dodge what you're talking about.
Yes.
Because I knew, because as much as I was passionate about my faith, I mean, from 14, I made a lot of decisions. Man, they were trapping, man, they were doing that, and I navigated that in real life. And that's where it's hard, like navigating that in real life, I felt was a lot harder than what I saw online where certain people would be saying, like, Jesus, 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 but I'm like, I know you know what I mean?
Like Bible bashing.
That Bible bashing.
Yeah.
And I actually navigated my branding like that because I didn't want to face the judgment or the sort of like, hey, you need to do this, you can't listen to this music, you can't listen to secular music. Because like, when I think about my relationship with God and when I think about even like the God of the Bible, it's interesting how your calling was found, Cristale, part of it in a car listening to Drake and Janae Aiko.
Do you know what it was? I wasn't even in the car. I was like walking. I remember I was walking past King's College Hospital when it happened, and I think we was gonna get the bus from outside King's College Hospital up to Dulwich where the church is.